Hey, Mark here at Mark's Upholstery. I'm going to bring you on a quick tutorial of the way I'm doing welting on this regular old little armless chair. It's just a seat in the back, and let me show you what I'm talking about. Previously, this chair had a, just a pullover seat and was nailed with nails all around, no welt. Now this is one of those chairs where you have this big old Queen Anne looking leg, and you've got nothing but just a flat surface here going on. And there's two things you can do about these. You can either put a single welt on there or you can put a double welt on there. Now, probably the most typical back in the day was to, if you can see here, is to just staple your fabric here and then cut here at where your legs are, pull that under and staple it, and then run a double welt across the front, across the area where the leg is. The second solution is to run a single welt here, but you can't just run a single welt there. You've got to do one of two things. You either got to put a groove in it by notching. I'm going to show you a better solution for that that's less intrusive on this chair. Now, keep in mind that when we go here to the back leg is flash too. We are going to notch this. I'm going to show you how I notch that so that when we run our welt across here, it'll go inside that groove and it'll have a nice clean pull. I don't like the idea of doing where you kind of do the upholstery and then you leave it open here and you try to put the welt under it and secure it down. Not a fan. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my 1/2-inch tack strip for blind tacking, and I'm going to start putting layers of it about a 1/4 inch above the line of where the leg begins. And I'm going to start with it fairly flush, pretty much flush with the end of it right there. And like I said, about a 1/4 inch. And then I'll come over here and make sure it's where I want it. All right, you can see I've got my first row here on. Now, I'm probably on this chair going to do 4 layers on here, sometimes 5 depending on a thicker fabric, but on this one I'm just going to do 4. But I'm also going to stagger them just a little bit over each other each time, just a little bit longer, so that I don't end up with an end right here. I don't end up with a big thick end here and then going to nothing, right there by it. I want it to kind of taper just a little bit in this area. Now there is an alternative where you can take a piece of old welting and put it down as the cardboard tack strip, and you'll have that, that thickness there standing, that much thickness to go. I'm not a big fan of using this I like a more robust, harder edge, which the tack strip gives you. But if that's not an option for you, you can just use something like a piece of welt. And it doesn't even have to be in fabric. You could just kind of staple any welt around there, and just so you can get that thickness and get it on a bend.
You can see now that I've got all my parts inside the groove. On each one of these, I've eliminated as much extra fabric as possible on the turn back, trim that out so it'll, I call it trimming the fat. And then I'm gonna come back through here with a, and kind of hammer in my groove. I'll show you that.